Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Howdy.
How's everyone doing?
Pretty spooky.
All right. Not bad at all.
Pretty
Still
spooky.
staying
I like
afloat for the
it.
most
Hey,
part.
I've been getting into the spirit of Halloween so far this month. I've been decorating, if you can see. We've got like the
Oh.
orange and like the cobweb blankets. Been putting up Halloween lights and everything. I am a huge
Halloween.
Halloween fanatic.
Is it safe
When
to say
is
Halloween is your
Halloween?
Christmas?
Halloween is my Christmas.
Is that your Christmas? When is Halloween?
Halloween is October 31st.
31st. I
weeks
guess
from
that's the
now.
last day of the month. Okay.
Mhm.
'Cause
So,
we used to celebrate Guy Fawkes on the 5th of November until they banned fireworks. So they've been transitioning. So I don't know, the community or the South African community has not really caught on to Halloween, but they do the cosplay thing. So they're trying. So sometimes we forget when that happens. So as soon as we get involved with the American community, then it's like, okay, let's do this, and then we do either like a Halloween stream or something, or either like a themed birthday party or something. But
The yearly
speaking of
rewatches of Nightmare Before
birthdays,
Christmas.
we've got a birthday boy in the house. Right there. Happy
Thanks.
birthday, Chris.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
So awesome that we can celebrate your birthday on stream.
Yeah, no place I
Yeah,
want
we
to
all
be.
just
I
have
want
to
to
start
rock
breaking out into like a cappella, start singing happy birthday for you.
I think I know what my birthday gift is.
Dang it.
Thank you. So, kind of a cool
We
thing
can
about
organize that quickly.
my town is Halloween. Because where I live, we have I believe the third largest Halloween parade in the entire United States. We actually have trick or treating the day before Halloween. So in our town, we go trick or treating on the 30th, and then with the 31st, where everyone else celebrates Halloween, I go out again. So I used to get double the candy when I was kids, and my kids get to do that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's kind of like 2 days of Halloween. That sounds like something right up my alley.
I know. You got to come out here.
Maybe I should just pack my bags right now.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
So explain to me, like, what is the whole thing behind trick or treat? Like, obviously you get that question. So what happens if you say trick, or what happens if you say treat?
To be honest, I can't even remember. I did I read up on the history of it a few years ago because I was curious about that as well. The only thing I can
Okay.
remember is that it came from like some sort of really old tradition, something to do with like spirits and like the changing of the season or something. But I don't know. I've never had anybody go trick when I'm like trick or
Yeah.
treat.
It's like, here you go.
I mean, I've
Well, now
gone
I'm gonna- now I'm
gonna
this
do a
long
magic
without
candy.
my card getting eggs on it, so or TPing someone's house.
Because I thought, like, say for instance, if you had the option, now say for instance, like if you didn't buy a candy or something, and now you do like a trick, it's like to scare the kids or something, to either like, I don't know, pretend that you don't have a hand or something, or I don't know, or try to like pull a prank on the kids or something. But I'll have to do my research as well to see what that means.
Yeah, now I'm definitely gonna go like trick or treat. I'm like, well, here's a trick. Give them a magic trick and eat the candy in front of them.
Trick.
Trick,
Wanna
do
see a
some
magic
math
trick?
questions.
Yeah, right.
Ooh.
That'll scare the kids. They'll go, ah, no way. Start running.
Get like a little wax doll, and just reenact a little magic trick from the Dark Knight. Want to see a magic trick? Want to see him pencil disappear? That'll definitely scare him.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's quite cool. So we've added some of the scary parts to our content tonight. So focus also a bit on Halloween and horror art and music and things. So I want to jump in, and I want to play a little clip from a movie that basically, if you hear like scary music or something, then it always refers to this movie. And it was a black and white movie, and very much, if you listen to the music, it's like very orchestral, and did anyone watch that movie?
Would you
I've never
believe me
watched it.
if
I've
I
seen
said
the-
I've never seen it?
What?
You've never seen it.
The
You have
1
to watch
million
it.
interpretations of it.
Where's it's a movie? Am I allowed to say the name of it? It's the movie
You can say it.
Psycho. Psycho. It's a
Reveal it.
classic. Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes.
Point is, he wanted to get.
Yes.
It was actually his wife, I believe, who said, "If you want to shock the audience, kill off the main character in the first 15 minutes." And so he did.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing movie. It's also when in my final year in my degree, we did a subject called music and film. So we did a psychoanalysis of this movie also. So we had quite a few movies that we had to. Well, there were four main ones that we had to look at, and Psycho was one of them. And then we had to listen to the music and discuss the reoccurring themes. And often they refer to like a cello. Then they say that's like the closest instrument to the voice. And when you want to have like scary type of effects, then they use strings as well. So it's like the violins that you hear, that quick, quick. You'll always and they refer to the shower scene, so where that music is like very prominent in that scene where the person stabs tweet, 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 every time the knife's picked up, and it has that dissonant violent sounds and the squeak sound. And I think that's been our almost like the theme that has been going on. If there's any scary things going to happen, you always hear that bit of a silence before the act happens, and then you have the dissonant stabbing sound, or that squeak from the strings, kind of creating that shock effect where it's like, something's happening now, you should be scared. So that was my contribution with regards to music in if we look at movies. So I thought let's look at a little clip from Psycho. So Nova, definitely one of your checklists, your bucket list, you have to go and watch Psycho.
Absolutely.
But,
Trust me,
yeah,
this month I have a
parental
whole
guidance
list of
is
classics that I plan to watch. So, but in that clip, I also wanted to note that the music with the strings, it definitely built for some really intense tension. I like the going up the stairs and like the strings and like it was building tension in me. I could feel it. It's something I notice a lot in horror movies.
There's like a little theme. Yeah. So even when we saw that car sink into the dam, they have that it's like it feels like it's almost like a moth flying around a candle type of thing. So something's like circulating and spinning. It's like, and then that's the piercing sound that basically hits you in the chest. It's like, this is happening. So that's quite hectic. And I think even if you play games and you watch movies, there's always like it depends. Some people enjoy like watching gory stuff where it's like blood, guts, and that type of thing. And other people enjoy like the anxiety moments of jump scares where all of a sudden like wow, it's like oh, or you
That's
get
my
the
favorite thing,
the
like the gore. Like I love
do
slasher
you enjoy
films.
jumps. And then you get like almost a bit of a comic relief thing where if it's something like Scream or what's it, I know what you did last summer type of movie where
Scary
it's
movie.
the blonde running and then it's this whole chase and it's like no, run run or
Right.
don't run, don't go up the stairs, that type of thing. So it's that you have all these little themes happening and then you have the music that kind of tells the story. So sometimes you just have to listen for the little hints and tips that the music actually give you before the time. Sometimes it's like, okay, I know something's going to happen, and then
Yeah.
it happens. But another clip that I want to show you with, I think it's a game that's really popular, especially during Halloween, and people stream this game often because you can have multiplayers, and it's called Phasmophobia. So I'll show us the clip, and then we can maybe chat about Phasmophobia and what the game is all about. Okay, cool. So another thing that I picked up now, and it's kind of reminded me, is that toy box. I don't know, for some reason, like children laughing, clowns, music boxes. For some reason, that is
Yeah.
also like representative of scary movie. And I kind of don't understand why. I think in a way, if it's like these scary dolls, when, I don't know, kids sometimes then they have like a Barbie doll or something and they trim the hair and then they cut the one side and then it's too short, then they cut the other side and eventually the doll doesn't have any hair and it's like, oh, this porcupine hairstyle thing. So then or then the arms ripped off or something and it gets quite graphic though. So that's why I'm thinking like maybe like the kids room or something and the toy box that kind of gets it freaks people out. And is anyone else like scared of clowns or like despises clowns?
Now, me personally,
Some
I was
people-
never scared of clowns, but I think it was my brother who was, or something of the sort. Clowns, but stuff like that.
Was it
Like
Alex?
I've never. No, it was my other brother, but
Oh,
I never understood why people were like so scared of them. I always thought they just looked kind of goofy. I'm actually a really big fan of things like clowns. So then again, I'm also just somebody who tends to like things that most people are like, oh, that's creepy.
I think I have to go with the stereotype. I never used to be afraid of clowns, but then I saw the original It movie with Tim Curry, and that's when and I think like the big difference with that is like the Tim Curry one and the Bill Skarsgård one is Tim Curry. He looked like your everyday clown. That's why he was more terrifying. Whereas Bill Skarsgård, he was terrifying, but you looked at him like you knew something was wrong. Whereas Tim Curry, like, oh hey, come on in. Oh, what's that? But after that, seeing that movie, not like I was afraid of clowns, but it was definitely like, I don't know, they annoyed me. I kind of wanted to punch them in their nose.
I think a lot of it might also be like those exaggerated features, like the big nose, the big feet. It might just look like uncanny to like kids, or it just might look like spooky somehow,
Yeah.
maybe otherworldly.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy,
As
yeah.
for me,
Especially
like,
with the red hair on the side and like the pale face. Just
Yeah.
I think that could be quite scary. So the game that I was showing you, it's called Phasmophobia. So basically, it's like a ghost hunter thing where you are a team of friends or colleagues or whatever that and you have to go to different places, and it's all the scary places like the asylum, or it's a school, or it's a farmhouse. Everyone has like an attic and a basement or something that you have to go down, and sometimes the power is cut, and now you first have to get the electricity back on, and you have to identify what type of ghost is actually haunting this place. So utilizing different tools, from trying to find fingerprints with a UV light, and burning a candle, and then the ghost, you have to like tick boxes of, if the ghost actually blows the candle out. And then you have like a dots projector where it actually shows the image of the ghost, and then you have to try and capture them on camera, or on or take a picture. And then they have like haunted objects. Say for instance, like there's like a music box, or a haunted mirror, and or even like a Ouija board in the game. So it's quite terrifying at places. And then sometimes you'll have like an event, like a moment happening where the ghost will actually whisper in your ear. And to
Ooh.
aggravate it, you call its name. So you have to ask questions like, how old are you? Or um, are you friendly? And for some reason, there's another question you can ask: are you French? I don't know why that is in there. But then you have like, what they call a spirit box, and then it'll actually say like, if you say like, where are you? Then it says behind you, but it's like, then it's like behind you. It's like in your ears. It's like, oh,
That's spooky.
it's and the whole thing, and it can actually kill you. So if it starts hunting, then you have to like try run away or hide in the closet or something, to get away from the ghost. And there's certain things that also aggravate the ghost. Is like if you go into the garage, they'll have a vehicle, and if you didn't take the car keys, and you walk past it, then the car's alarm goes off, and then the ghost also starts hunting. Or if you flush the toilet or something, then it's quite hectic. So I think having games like that, especially on Halloween, being able to play that, it's good entertainment for people to sit and watch streams, and also get the jump scares in between. And I've seen quite a few people on stream use things like a dick spur. It's like, say for instance, if you it's like you pull a card, and then it will create like a jump scare noise or something. So it's like interactiveness with a streamer, where you can buy little cards, or stream loots where you have cards, and it's like a knock knock sound, where especially with us wearing in ears, then it sounds like the knocks coming from the right and from the left hand side, and it's like you have that interactive action within the game. So that's have any of you played Phasmophobia, or seen people play it before?
I've
I
seen
haven't.
people play it, but I've never
I
played
played
it.
it a couple of times.
I've yet to
Is
play it. I've been asked to, but I want to for sure, though. It definitely looks really fun. I've watched streamers play it.
I think I played it back in its early days, like back in its early days, before it got the facelift it has now.
It seems
Yeah,
fun,
Yeah.
especially
it's-
like
it's changed
for
a
a
lot.
group during Halloween.
I love like interactive and creative games like that.
Chris, we have to get you involved.
Me
Yeah, I
too.
know. Oh no, I'm gonna start streaming. now that I got a little better handle on my schedule and everything, I'm gonna start streaming. I'm so excited! I shut my whole computer. So I'm actually getting a new gaming TV. All set up. Eventually, maybe I'll get a PS5. I don't know.
I mean, they just announced a new PS5 Slim.
Definitely.
Yeah, I know. It's I don't know.
No.
I mean, if anyone's listening around my house, it might be a nice birthday gift.
He's dropping hints, guys.
Yay.
He wants a PS5. Get him a
He's gonna
PS5,
start-
guys.
He's gonna start whispering behind people like the ghosts in Phasmophobia. He's gonna be like, "I'm looking for a PS5.
Be like, how you
It's
doing?
not me."
I'll put in
Oh, there's something in the air. You guys hear that?
I'll put on the white noise machine my wife has and just put a PS5.
Little subliminal messages.
Yeah. That's
Brian,
funny.
that sound that you made also reminds me of a music instrument that people also use in scary movies. No, it's a theremin. I was trying to think of the name of it, and funny enough, unfortunately, I can't play too much music on stream because just now they ban us because of copyright infringements. But if you listen to Good Vibrations from the Beach Boys, you'll actually hear a theremin going in the background. So that's one of the listening exercises you can do maybe
You
when
wouldn't
you
believe
feel like
this,
it.
but actually,
Yeah,
I
That's our
listen to the
viewer's
Beach Boys.
assignment for today.
I learned how to do this. I learned how to do that off of watching Roseanne when I was a kid.
really.
Yeah, John Goodman did it.
Oh, that's true. Good show.
Shame what happened to it, but you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely, yeah. So now I think the first game it tells
I've
I'm
got
gonna
one more
stream
clip
that.
that I want to show. Oh,
Nice.
so I've got like a super delay. I think maybe an elephant ran over our telephone line or something. Everything's so slow. I'm going to show us one more clip. It's from another game called Bloodborne, and also just to highlight a bit of the music and like sound effects that they used in this. So let's check this one out. Okay, so that is a bit of a
Trailer.
blast from the past.
That
Yeah.
trailer.
Did you play the game?
I played it once, and I loved it.
I watched a friend of mine play it. I've tried playing it. I couldn't get past the first level, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pass.
I've heard of it. I've never played it, but it looks pretty sick.
Yeah, I must be honest. I also haven't played it yet, but it would be something that I would be keen to stream for Halloween. Also, just reminding myself, just because of the sound effects, and like I mentioned before, sometimes you have that silence, and now you saw that little monster creeping out the background. Then it's like you get that effect afterwards, and also the big clock or the bells, the church bells going bong bong. Those are also things that people use, and water drops, and that they use in movies, or to, I don't know, it's probably about that the clock strikes 12 or something, then it's like midnight, and then the vampires come out. So I think often that is associated with like the church bells, and especially in the dark scenes. So that's quite cool. So I also like wanted to check, because we speak about like music, and we speak about acting and voiceover acting and art, and I thought also just to showcase some of the art, and I know Nova's also going to speak about artwork in games. If you've ever played the game Little Nightmares, and I'm going to bring this up quickly. Let's just see. There we go, just to show what the artwork they used. I know it's like this little character that has like a bag over their head, and it's supposed to be a cute game, but it's the scariest cute game that a person can probably get. And if you look at the artwork, like look at that character, and if you see behind the bookcase, its neck is actually that long. So when you play the game, you sometimes have these heads following around, um, and this weird, dark, misty type of atmosphere in the game as well. You just look
Yeah,
at
Little
the
Nightmares does a
artwork
really good
with
job
things
with
hanging.
making things really spooky. I love the style of the
Yeah.
game. A lot of the the backgrounds and like the environments and the characters in some of the levels and
Yeah.
stuff, I guess, they're really unique. Really, really spooky, but I like them. They get really creative with them.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, at one stage you get to yeah, you get to one stage where you have to run. There's no spoiler alerts, but you literally you have to go from the one side of the table to the other, and it's like a bunch of, I don't know, it's like gluttony people that are just eating. It's like and food's falling all over, and you have to try and they'll grab you and they'll eat you. So you have to like just try and get through this. But it's quite, I don't know, it kind of, to me, it represents like the seven deadly sins type of thing. So there's like gluttony and all that in there in it. But it's probably not the theme, but it just reminds me of that. And just the artwork is it's different. It's not just the normal blood and gore type of things, but it also has like the absence of sound in a way, where it's kind of like you can feel the presence in a way, where it's like an open door. Like, say for instance, if you hear the wind going the whole time, and then you'll have like all the noises from the kitchen or mumbling and things that they use, and it's quite freaky, and it's just the perfect setting for jump scares all over. When something pops out behind a bookcase or through a window, or a hand grabs towards you or something. So it's quite hectic. But I'm going to hand over to you, Nova. I know that you've got a few things that you want to chat about with
Yeah,
regards
for
to
sure.
art.
And kind of piggybacking off of
right.
what you were talking about, the aspects of like little, what is it called again? Little Nightmares. The
Little
aspects of Little Nightmares that make a lot of the things in it scary is kind of what I want to talk about. Like what makes something scary in horror media? How does one convey horror through art? And one of the things that I wanted to talk about specifically and give a good example for is one of my own favorite horror media sources, the Walton Files, because I feel like the Walton Files does a really good job at conveying this. But first, speaking of what makes something scary, I know a lot of us have this, first thought that pops into our head when we think, what makes something scary? It's either like sharp teeth, red eyes, a big frame, maybe a lanky frame, if you think of like Slenderman or some other very tall, lanky creature, no face, some sort of thing with like Uncanny Valley where it looks slightly human, but something's off. There's a ton of different
Jason.
ways to convey. Yeah. There's a ton of different ways to make something seem scary in terms of appearance. And the Walton Files, I feel, does a good job at this, not just in a traditional sense, but in a sort of different way as well, because they do have aspects of, things like the regular blood and gore type of stuff, things like a monster or like a scary face or etc. But they don't, a lot of people have this sort of thought of a lot of horror needs to look realistic in order to be scary. The Walton Files doesn't necessarily do that. They are like, the art style in the Walton Files is cutesy. It's cute, but in a way where it is mildly unsettling. And they do this, and it makes you feel just as scared as you would if you saw, something that was, I don't know, like a ghoulish type of face. The Walton Files does a good job at capturing the Uncanny Valley type of feeling and using things like exaggerated or slightly off proportions of, human features, or playing on things like the dread or unease that you may have from certain things that you wouldn't expect. And I want to play a little clip of an advertisement from the series. You might not at first really see how it would be scary at first, but there will be another clip that we'll play afterwards that I'll talk about. So.
Okay, let me show that one.
What's that I see? A bored family over there? Better turn that frown upside down, because the showstoppers are coming to town. Bond's Burgers, an all-new entertainment center, guarantees excitement for all. But don't take it from me, take it from this guy.
Opening June 28th on 8262 Cross Street, Bond's Burgers will become a magical part of your children's life. Funny Smiles Incorporated has spent blood, sweat, and tears to provide state-of-the-art entertainment, games, and the best quality food. Bond and his gang are the biggest, most advanced restaurant in Livingston County. But don't take it from me, take it from the big man himself, Bond the Rabbit.
The most fun place in town. I've really outdone myself with this one. I don't even know where to
Over 20 arcade games! A super fun game zone featuring the poker maze! A wonderful magical music show for the entire family! Fun, magic, laughs, joy, and oh, don't forget those delicious freshly cooked hamburgers, so good! Only served right here! So come on!
All right, we get it. So come on down to Bond's Burgers, opening this Friday over at Cross Street. Fast food
and family fun. Thank you.
Now, I want to mention before we play the next clip that watching that, you're probably sort of sitting there like, oh yeah, the art definitely looks off, but it seems appealing to, like, it's very childlike and not as scary as you would think it would be. But when it comes to the scarier part of the Walton Files, with its writing and like the story of it, it does tend to start showing the creepier aspect of its art style, where it starts selling its point of the horror within its art style of the unknown, sort of like this uneasy feeling. And the main point of the Walton Files playing on this, childhood fear of like, the things in our childhood feeling eerie somehow, something behind it, like being dark. And this next clip does a good job at showing how spooky the Walton Files' art style really can be.
Just a passing breeze, filled with memories, the days of wine and roses, and you.
Very
Wow.
spooky, as well as the music. The music does a good job at conveying its eeriness as well. But the
Yeah.
Walton Files, it's along with its story, because its story, while it doesn't focus, solely on blood and guts and gore, like a lot of, gory type of horror, it relies a lot on sort of like this psychological horror of, things that could realistically happen, and things that are just, in the back of our mind, a fear of ours, of these animatronics are actually sentient and stuff. But it does a good job at conveying its horror when it needs to. And I think it does a good job at choosing when to, especially in certain scenes, such as there is a specific game to the Walton Files, Bob's Burgers, specifically the franchise within the series of the Walton Files. They have a game that they had created a long time ago based on the franchise. And it looks very childish, but within the game, it starts to slowly get more corrupted. And it starts to, glitch out, and it starts to have creepy imagery. But the Walton Files does a really good job at conveying its horror, not just through, violence, but things like unsettling feelings and like, having it look, somewhat innocent, but still conveying this unease and being disturbed. But it's one of the many reasons I really like the Walton Files. It does a really good job with not just, the art, but also the story and the music and the characters. They have a whole bunch of really spooky aspects to it that draw you in from the get-go.
I love that.
It's inspired a lot by Five Nights at Freddy's. For those of you who are familiar with that franchise, it's inspired by the Five Nights at Freddy's series and the whole Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria thing going on, which plays on sort of the same things or similar as the Walton Files. But it's something I really like seeing, especially in a current horror, because it feels sort of refreshing from like the constant like blood and guts type of horror, or like ooh, ghosts. Like they have those aspects of jump scares and like ghosts and ghoulish type of stuff, but they incorporate a lot of other things with it that make it scary.
I like it.
For sure.
I dig it.
It's
I lo-
the it's the
I love the little
perfect
details in
combination
horror
of, like,
games.
delightfully creepy.
Absolutely. And I love the blend of like I had said earlier, a lot of horror people tend to think, oh, horror in order to be scary should look realistic, and it doesn't necessarily look realistic, but it takes aspects of realistic art and combines it with this cartoonish type of childish art style. And I think that in itself is also another characteristic of the art style that tends to make it spookier than it is. Like the elongated teeth and like the grime on the animatronics, the eyes popping out of its little sockets and all of that. I think that definitely contributes.
For me, it's just the bait. It's like the creepy like baby dolls. Like I don't know if I don't know like clowns scare people, spiders scare people. For me, it's like the weird baby, like the weird dolls. It's dolls for me. Like dolls scare
Wait till
me
I
more
tell
than
you, the
anything.
bin that I've got right behind me is full of them. And that one's not a joke. Just got a bin full of them sitting behind me. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. So if anyone wants to hop on in and comment on anything that I had mentioned, or segue into their topic, feel free.
I think I'll let the birthday boy go next.
All right, excellent. I actually do have speaking of horror games and everything, I kind of forgot I actually voiced a horror game, a psychological horror game. Actually just won it was nominated for award in Italy for what's the word? Debut game of the year, and it won a few categories too. So I'm very proud of the developer and everything, what he did, and it was actually a super fun project. And funny thing is, there's out of all the characters, there's only 2 people who voiced them. It's me and someone else. I did all the male voices, and she did all the female voices. Just want to get it on deck. To get it ready to play, it's called Imago Beyond the Nightmares. Whenever get to show it now. Trailer for it.
Why did you accept this case?
Because it's my job.
The explosion of an oil pipeline leaked up to 70,000 liters of crude oil.
I want your help, Mr. Burton. I want you to bring Simon. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
Marty! Oh! That thing is here! I told you he was back and you didn't listen to me!
Fear and dreams are identical. Disappear from my life!
Yeah.
Impressive.
Developer
Actually
really,
hear your voice.
Wow.
yeah, all
I feel, like
the
I feel like you showed this before.
not sure. Perhaps I did. If I repeat it, I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. Like it's still like that looked really good, honestly. Like
Perfect for the theme.
Thanks.
I can't like that's probably the one game that would probably scare me. Like I've watched so many people play so many scary games. I've watched so many people play games that get jump scares. I've seen one of my friends get jump scared by literally a flag popping out of the wall. But I don't know, like I feel like that'd be the one game that would actually like truly like scare me, you know? Not jump scare, but like scare me.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's you recommend you play with your headphones on because you actually could hear a lot more with the headphones on. It's he really goes in depth with it. How you hear like sometimes the water dripping. Like the whole point of it is that it's a guy named Marty. He used to be a detective, and his whole life he's experiencing these mysterious hallucinations, and they bring him into a world that's unreachable. And he has a little partner named Arthur that had him through his entire life. It's like not really an imaginary friend. It's like a blur between illusion, reality, and all the hallucinations he has. And the whole purpose is he's here to find someone's missing child. And throughout that, the weird stuff that goes on, it's it's pretty dark, I gotta say.
It kind of gives me like, I almost kind of want to say gives me like Alan Wake vibes, but not really.
I gotcha.
It definitely looks interesting. And I gotta say, that voice range, oh my goodness.
Thanks. Had to really it was a heavy tea day when I was recording that.
I
I'll
can
put it that
imagine.
way. And I really wanted to meet up with the voice actor who was doing the female leads, because we did have one scene, and we actually had picked a time where the man who made the game, he lives in Italy, and his English wasn't the greatest, but he was able to direct us on how using hands and just showing like, oh, Mallory, do this. Oh, Chris, do this. And how we just kind of like improv'd one scene together, and he actually put it in the game, which I thought was really cool. And it was just the two of us kind of going off one another.
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sure.
Thank you. So
We have to give that game a go.
so to kind of talk about that with games and everything, I know right now, I feel like I got to talk about this because some people have been asking me. There's still that the writer's strike has finally ended, but SAG-AFTRA and the other strike is still going on. The actor strike still is. So the Writers Guild, I think they got like 90% of everyone agreed on the rights. So awesome for them.
That's a W.
We as actors, we're not there yet. We still
gotta keep digging.
We have to, because I actually, a real life example, a friend of mine who I met on a set I was doing extra work for, he just happened to turn on TV and he saw himself in a show. And he goes, wait a minute. I never did that show. I was never did that. Turns out it was a company they did work for. He signed, because one of the things they put down in perpetuity to use his likeness, they actually cloned him like AI to fill in a few extra seats. And he saw that, he goes, whoa. I heard myths about that, but apparently, yeah, it's true. Not going to mention what show it is or anything, but
In a way, that's kind of scary. Like, it's almost like the sort of like cyber futurism horror stuff that you hear about.
it is, yeah. And everyone thinks like, oh, it's like, big actors just want more money. No, we want to be safeguarded. It's not so much about like the Chris Evans or the Scarlett Johanssons. It's about the guy in Black Panther who was, I forget his name, the actor's name, the one who helped him out. It's about like the second-rate actor. Now, I don't want to say second-rate because everyone's talented, but you know what I mean? It's like, the other class of actors that are in there that just want to, collect fee. Believe it or not, I mentioned this before, but Zordon, guy who did Zordon, how many episodes of Power Rangers was he in? He only got paid $100.
Every single one.
He only got paid $150
per episode.
No, once. That's it. Came in, did the green paint. That's it. $150. And yeah, and because he signed away. Dave Chappelle actually talked about this when he did the Chappelle Show. He said, he was in a room with the staff members from, not staff members, but like the CEOs of Comedy Central talking about a show. So he has to sign a contract. One of them was in perpetuity. Now Chappelle's Show is on Netflix. He doesn't receive a dime for that because he's essentially signed away his rights. That's why I always advise everyone, whenever you get a contract, it's going to cost money, but pay someone who understands the lingo or research the lingo so you understand, so you don't wind up getting, screwed over for everything. And you just want to make sure you're paid. And that's what the whole strike is about, getting paid for the work that you do. So
And it's not being exposed to all these weird things happening at the moment. It's so scary because you literally have to safeguard your likeness. That people can, you get these little funny apps where you can have a picture of someone and then you play a song and then the person basically moves and sings along. So that's now like a cheap version of it. But I mean, with all the technology now available and the big budgets that the movie makers use, I mean, you literally have a picture and it can do whatever you tell it to do. So say things that you aren't supposed to be saying, or it's so scary. That's why I also look at some of these conspiracy theories. Then we look at like big figures like Donald Trump or President Biden, or then they'll say things, and when you listen to them on the news, you can hear the human factor where the one might stutter or they have like little words that they keep repeating. And then you see like the AI version of it where it's like a smooth speech from beginning to end. There's like, okay, no, there's something wrong with this. And it's picture perfect, and the voice is exactly that person's voice, but it's AI. Or sometimes you don't. So, who knows?
Exactly.
Like, for example, like when they did Obi-Wan, that was not actually James Earl Jones that was playing Darth Vader. That was actually AI. And like, honestly, it was so uncanny. I almost thought that was actually James Earl Jones, but it didn't click to me that James Earl Jones is almost 90 years old.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It really
It's
is.
quite
Yeah.
scary.
For sure.
The robots are taking over. We got Ben down the hatches. All right.
That's your cue.
Hang on. Reenact the SpongeBob scene. Future.
Yeah. So that's what I got about horror and everything. Make sure you watch your back and safeguard. It's actually an example. One other company tried to use my voice in a horror game, and fortunately, I had a writer written into the contract. So extra content. I'm like, hey, by the way, you can't do that. So that worked out. And all of them are available that you can download and add it to your clause, and of course, ask for help. We voice actors are nice people. Well, we try to be.
Very sweet.
We're all a little crazy. We stay into a padded room all day. So I actually just added a window so I could see out and watch people look at me. All right. So Brian, I'd love to know your thoughts on everything, my friend.
Alrighty, well, now I'm going to take us back a little bit. I'm going to talk about a little, and Chris, you feel free to kind of chime in on this a little bit.
Okay.
I want to talk about delivery when it comes to both acting and voice acting. And I've got two clips I want to show. One is from Dragon Ball Z. If you know Dragon Ball Z, Chris, you know the legendary work of Brian Drummond and Chris Sabat. But I want to talk about how they basically did the same scene, but the delivery is night and day. All right, just want to roll the clip real quick.
It's just a watch, that's all.
Oh.
It's just a watch. Nothing. It's a clock.
That was no watch. That was a Dragon Ball locator.
That was no watch. It was some kind of Dragon Ball locator. That was no clock! The punk had a radar! No! That was no clock! That was a damned radar! Damn it!
I'll get you for this! You won't escape my
When I find you, I'll kill you! You're dead! Filthy double-crossers! You will rue the day! You hear me?
I'll get you! You're all
I swear it! You are dead! You're finished! You will pay! You're finished! Damn it all!
All right, so from it's okay. So from the three scenes, it's basically the same scene, obviously, but it was from the original Ocean dub, and from when Funimation took over, and then Funimation again when they did Dragon Ball Z Kai, because Dragon Ball Z Kai is just it's a retelling, redubbing of Dragon Ball Z to kind of cut out the filler, new lines, new direction, new everything. So I want to let you. I just want to say I'm sorry, Brian Drummond in that scene. I'm sorry, he still holds the candle. I'm sorry. I love Chris Sabat. I love the man.
Absolutely.
But Brian Drummond, man, you cannot beat a timeless classic like him. That delivery, I got chills still, man. I got that delivery of like. Bro just got conned by a 4-year-old into thinking he's only got a watch, and he didn't even click till he left. That's a damn radar. I'm pissed off.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then that delivery afterwards, I was like, dude, how did you do it back in the day, man? Like, I need to know, like. Obviously, I'll never work on something like Dragon Ball because I don't think my lungs and throat can afford it. But
don't say that. You can.
do you want to imitate Goku Super Saiyan 3 screen?
So, an actual trick for that is if you actually work with a heavy metal coach, they actually really tell you to really expand. There's also Sean. I'm going to butcher his last name. Sean Schemmel.
Sean Schemmel, yeah.
Yeah. He actually has a great exercise he does every time before he steps into the booth when actually specifically doing DBZ. And he actually used to do a lot of audiobooks for children too. Go figure.
Really?
Yeah. It's I actually had to made him sign one, and he stopped and looked at me and just kind of smiled and signed it. But yeah, the emotion, each one. What I love is each voice actor brings their own take to it. And that's kind of important. It's even if they hear like past examples, to bring your own spin on it and to capture the same use the same emotion but a different take of that emotion. And also a lot of times what they do is they say the same lines over and over. Like they wait for those, you hear a lot those 3 beeps, boop, 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 and on the third one you go and start. And because you're essentially matching the mouth when dubbing, matching the mouth to your voice. So you have to be quick on it. Only got a few snippet of lines, but like you said, like each one bring their own emotion, uniqueness to it. And the specific thing is you don't want to copy it.
Right.
You maybe want to.
It's like, I feel like it's important that you study how the other person does it. And then when you go to do it, throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that can translate to acting too, because when Ethan Slater, who did the Broadway production of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny was actually in that production, believe it or not. He was on the Nickelodeon broadcast version. They actually let him come in as Patchy the Pirate. But in Ethan's case, he studied how Tom Kenny would interpret SpongeBob. Then when he would go to rehearse, through everything he studied out the window, it made SpongeBob his own. And that's actually what usually my directors say. Like back when I did Driving Miss Daisy, I even heard my director say, I don't want to hear Dan Aykroyd's version of Driving Miss Daisy. I don't want to hear that bully. I want to hear your bully, not Dan Aykroyd's. So your interpretation, your delivery, and how you do scenes I feel like that's actually impactful in a way. And then, and speaking of impactful, I've got one more clip before we go. It really details like emotion, facial work. Like, I feel like if I ever do get to step into a booth one day, this is what I'm going to try and imitate, but not and make my own, but not directly copy from someone else. And it's a little clip from Vinland Saga.
All of you. I don't know. I don't know where you're all from. I can't remember when or where I killed all of you. I'm so sorry. I'm so
You're all such a boorish lot of dead men. Come on! There's no time for this moping around! You don't want to fall back down here, do you? Then let them hang off of you and climb up! Now get going! That is your battle, Thorfinn! Go! And take the ones you killed with you! It's time to fight your real battle now! Become a true warrior! Thorfinn!
Oh my God, man.
Those intense.
Alex Lee, man.
Yeah.
I haven't followed, granted, I haven't followed his work for very long, but he voices Luke in Street Fighter. He voices, obviously, Thorfinn and Vinland Saga. He's about to voice, he currently is the voice of the new Persona 3 Reload as the main protagonist. Believe it or not, Chris, you know who Yuri, I'm sure you know who Yuri Lowenthal is.
Yeah.
He personally picked him to be the voice of the Persona 3 protagonist, which Yuri was the previous one, but Yuri specifically chose him. And seeing him in that scene right there, I could just like, oh my god, dude!
You can see why.
I can't even put it into words how hyped that gets me, man. Like, you see, like, oh my gosh, I can't even put this into words because I'm so excited right now. Like,
yeah,
but I'll try so we can wrap this up. But seeing like his facial, like everything, like he was in like, oh, the pain in his face, his expressions, the screams, like it all just fluctuated like perfectly. Like,
yeah, he's extremely talented, Alex. He's worked on the Final Fantasy VII remake. He's done so much work, and remember when he first started, starting off, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna be big, I guarantee it, and he is. I'm super proud of him. He's he's a straight up guy too. So it's a lot.
But I think that's all I got for now. I think I got my excitement. Like,
got your excitement in.
Awesome. If everyone's watching and you want to know where when the next show is coming up, you can also join our Discord. Put it in the comments below. And we've got quite a few shows coming up with regards to travel shows. We've got gaming and anything that involves science, technology, engineering, arts makers, music, theater works, and voiceover acting and art. You can definitely go check out and go join our Discord. But time has run out, and the hour actually went super quick. Can't believe that. Yeah,
we have so much
there's
fun
our
here.
link at the bottom. Yeah. So thanks again, everyone, for your contribution. And if drop comments and say, if you guys are going to do anything specifically for Halloween or any costume designs or any ideas, share it with us. We'd like to see what you guys are up to, all the creative minds. And thank you so much for an amazing show, and we'll see you in a few days' time. Come check us out again. Cheers, everyone.